I'm Cesar de la Cruz, co-host of the Tolleson-Mack podcast. Today is a special guest. We got Jim Grayson from Rat Bastard Energy Drinks that's going to sponsor this podcast. Brandon, we'll let Jim talk here in just a little bit, but I know you got a lot of good things to say about your workers when they try this, when they drink this Rat Bastard Energy drink.
No, they're hooked on it. You got them all addicts now. So they're on it. They drink it. They're up these late hours and early mornings, and I see them in the mornings. Like I would say, we work pretty much from midnight on, and try to go home about 11, 12 usually. But about when the sun comes up, I'll see them drinking their Rat Bastards, and they're in every pickup back. The cans are everywhere, so I see them everywhere. So no, they're great.
That's awesome.
They like them.
Yep. And Jim, we started this I started helping you out about a year and a half ago, and you're wanting to figure out a way to get to Vegas. Some of the guys, Pat and Bobby, they were wanting to kind of start it out over there, and it was a big hit, right? You were at the South Point, and talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. You helped me out quite a lot on that. My cousin called me about 10 days before the NFR in 22 and wanted me to get started over there. And I said, man, I don't think I can. He goes, we'll see what you can do. I said, all right. Hung up the phone. I called you. And about a day and a half later, we were in there.
Yeah.
Matt Zancanella's booth.
Yeah, right there at the Cadillac booth and Zestera. And that was a pretty good deal because even the bartenders kind of got to talking about it a little bit, and I guess there was a mixed drink. The logo, it's Rat Bastard, but what do they call it in Vegas?
Well, with whiskey, they were calling it the Dirty Bastard. I forget the name on the vodka, but something similar.
That's pretty awesome.
And the South Point, that goes hand in hand with a lot of people walking around out there.
Obviously, especially around the opener.
Yeah.
They were just
a lot of dirty bastards walking around.
It's awesome, but I like it a lot just because as much as I drive, and back in the day, my mix, whenever I had to drive all night, was Red Bull and then one of those little 5-hour energy deals and that kept you up pretty good. Actually, you didn't sleep pretty much the night. You were actually shaking when you were trying to lay down. It wasn't very good. But I found out with these Rat Bastards, like it's got really good caffeine in it. I didn't know there was different caffeines. And it's got a lot of vitamins, and it's got 5 calories in it. So it's like one of the best kind of things you can do for yourself. As far as, you drink coffee, it's a little bit much, and I feel like Red Bull and all them other drinks got too much sugar in them. Kind of gives you the shakes. This stuff right here, it's awesome. It kind of gives you that good energy, almost like that focused energy. So especially driving all night in the middle of the night, and you got your family. For me, I got my family and the horses in there. I want to make sure we get there safe. So it's been an awesome deal for me, and we'll talk a little bit more about the, Pat and Bobby a little bit, Jim. Bobby's your cousin, right?
Yes, sir. This all started about 6.5, 7 years ago now. And then my cousin's girlfriend ended up with cancer, and she ended up passing away, and everything got put on hold until 10 days from the 22 NFR. And then from there, it exploded. We're all over the place now, going into Kroger stores, 7-Elevens, the vitamin shops. I'm trying to think. It's going all over the place.
Well, yeah, you're not going to find the Red Bulls and stuff there, maybe at the vitamin shops for sure. It's like whenever you get a chance to look at the can, or maybe go online and check them out, you'll notice how much vitamins they have in it. Good things for you.
Is that what sets you guys apart mostly? Is the vitamin side, or the healthier? So I would say it's like the healthiest version of the energy drinks. Am I correct?
Well, pretty much. And then, like he was talking about the caffeines, ours is derived from green tea, so it's a natural caffeine, where Red Bulls is made in a beaker.
I got you.
So that's the difference there. That's why it doesn't give you the shakes, and when the drink's over, it's slow down. It doesn't crash.
I got you.
Like the other ones do.
Huh.
Like I said, I could drive through the night. We've been going to a lot of junior rodeos here the last last few years of my rodeo career. I slowed down, but I kind of picked it back up with the junior rodeos. But so driving at night, and it's awesome. And so when I get the horses taken care of and put everything up, I can actually lay down and go to bed. You know, when I had that other mix with Red Bulls and 5 hours, man, I was shaking,
You're on
my
one.
heart was throbbing. You know, like I was like, man, this ain't right. And my heart was just fluttering, skipping beats. I'm like, man, I don't know if that's healthy. And then like it's nice to get a few hours sleep before you go perform that next morning slack. So
I'm gonna ask the question everybody's gonna probably ask you 1,000 times. How'd you get the name Rat Bastard?
Well, it came up kind of in a fight with some property owners, my cousin and his neighbor, over a ride on a road, and which my cousin had the right. And anyways, that's how it turned. That's how the name come up, and they ended up in court, and So, anyhow, that's how they got the name. Our mascot. That went around and around and around in different colors and different ways, and finally we landed on the one with the white background. So
Mickey Mouse's crackhead uncle, or biker uncle, huh?
yes,
So if I get this right, there was your neighbor or your cousin had a dispute with his neighbor about a land or about an easement or something like that, and he called him and was like, "You rat bastard," and that's how it stood.
that's how it started.
well, man, I tell you what, I'm kind of a fan of David Goggins. You know how
Uh-huh. Oh,
extreme
yeah.
he is, especially in the morning. Sometimes, you know, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you kind of talk to yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of get up, you rat bastard.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that. I think the gym rats will really like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah,
it'll get
That's true.
you up and rolling for sure.
right. And then watermelon's the only one that has calories in it. This has 5, and the other 2 doesn't have any. And then we have a new flavor coming out next month. It'll be a light berry flavor. It'll be called Vicky Rose. That's my cousin's girlfriend's name. The tasters are telling us it tastes better than the other 3.
And for those out there, I'm a huge fan of the watermelon. Like the watermelon tastes really good.
The watermelon's off the hook.
I really like the blood orange before the watermelon. The fruit punch is good too, but it just seems like they just keep getting better and better all the time.
I like the fruit punch with vodka.
We need to come up with a name like that. You know, the whiskey drink was a dirty bastard.
It's just loaded with vitamins, right?
Yeah.
4100 and the B12, right? And
Yeah.
How did your cousin? Did he come up with this recipe, or how did it start like that?
No, he ended up meeting this formula guy. That guy owns a bunch of gyms, and he needed a place to store some gym equipment. And Bobby had an empty shop, and that's how those 2 got together. And it was this place where there was a dispute over the easement. So that's where the rat bastard came in, and between the 2 of them. And since then, it's gone nuts. It's all over Kern County. They have it in some bars in the LA area, and
Talk to him about the rat rods.
well, the blue collar Valve 12 is his Instagram name. He's got a rat rod built. It's I think a 32 or a 33 Model A cab that's on a frame that was built from the border fence that they didn't want to use, and this thing's unbelievable. It's got the diesel motor in this thing is unbelievable. You can drive it in drive, or you can manually shift this thing. And he said before he had his motor broken, he said at 50 miles an hour, it's a dually. He goes, you could break the dualies loose and just smoke them going 50.
That's awesome.
That is
The rat bastard. You got the logo. Does it go on the fuel tank, or what does it go on?
He has his air tank, looks just like our cans.
Yeah, that looks cool. It looks cool. Yeah, so be on the lookout. What was his Instagram?
Blue collar Valve 12.
Okay.
Blue collar valve 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. 'Cause if you're
Dustin Duke.
if you're into cars, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, and they've got all. We were in Vegas with him a few weeks ago at a show, and he's got all kinds of buddies. And some of the cars these guys build are just off the hook. Wow.
Oh man, just like I'm into horses, right? Like manes and tails and different colors and stuff. You get talking to a car guy, it's like the same thing. Their eyes light up and they're talking about their cars.
Oh yeah.
But so you were a team roper back in the day, like we met George's and shooters a few years ago, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and you've got to travel a little bit through the rodeo circuit and travel with Matt Zancanella a few times and what did there wasn't an energy drink back then, and like I feel like it would have been pretty awesome to have something like that back then. It would have.
No doubt.
That's whenever.
There's something else back then.
I mean, just something.
Something else back then.
Yeah, because shoot, the way that the ropings are going and stuff. If we would have just had this thing 15 years ago, that'd been great. But we're starting a little bit behind. But tell us a little bit about your roping. You went to the U.S. finals and all that stuff, and
I went to the finals several times. Never won any money at the finals. Now, I always did there locally at Mustang and what have you, right? But one year I never missed a steer, scored good, handled them good, and never won a dime.
Very humbling, this roping game.
Yes, sir, it is.
Back in the U.S. finals was over there in Oklahoma City, and they would have maybe 1,000 teams or so in them ropings, man. It was all day long, all night long. I remember the parking lot was just packed.
Oh yeah,
packed with people. So especially roping all nights and stuff, we could have had the Rat Bastard booth over there in Oklahoma City. We'd have made millions then, and just right over there.
It would have came in real handy.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I spent all night over there at the challenge pins. BJ Campbell talked about it. You can just get on them steers caught. They'd pay you. I think you enter up and it was $150, and if you won, it was triple your money. So if you could just enter up all night, if you were good at catching them, they were all usually the trashy steers. Mm-hmm. So the cuts that would go in the main couple arena 1, arena 2, all the ones that stop and drag,
and bring them out.
They would sort them off and take them to the challenge pin. That's why the whole name come about. Huh. And I mean, tell you what, it was just all day, all night challenge pin roping. It was funny. And you'd see some guys get so mad, and it's like that was your steer. When you nod your head, whether it stopped or whatever, that was your cow.
Yeah.
You got to travel overseas just a little bit, right? You got to go to Russia and stuff. What were you doing out in Russia for work?
Well, we took 2 brand new cyber rigs in there, and the first cyber rigs that ever went into Russia. Got those guys up and schooled on them and rolling, and then Obama and Putin butted heads, and we got thrown out of the country.
Just like that? Just like that.
I'm at the rig doing my paperwork, and I get a phone call from a buddy of mine, and he says, "Do you want to come to Turkmenistan for me?" I said, I kind of like it here. He said, "No, you're leaving." He said, "I'll see you in a couple of days."
No, you're coming.
Boom, we were on a plane out of there.
Man, that's wild. That's wild. So you were training a lot of the guys. Tell me what it was like being overseas, and I mean travel. I mean getting from work to your hotel and.
Sometimes it's a nightmare, right? Not many of them speak English, right? And my Russian's really small, so. Did
you have any problems with any of the drivers when you were out there? You had a pretty cool. You mentioned you had a cool driver that was pretty.
I had one guy that was really good, all right?
Yeah, maybe one that wasn't so good.
Yeah, I had one that wasn't so good,
Did you happen to get in a fight with this guy, or did you kind of do some altercation?
We had a little argument, right? And he no longer drove for me.
Tell everybody what kind of happened in that little story there.
Well, we just got in an argument over just being mouthy, I think, probably is the biggest deal. But the first day I'm there, I leave the office. I meet everybody in the office. They want me to go out to the rig and get in the car with this guy and start across out of town. We got to cross this river. And there's little girls on both sides of the road walking down the road in bikinis with high heels on. And I mean, I'm hurting my neck. I've got nobody to talk to. I'm not sure which one even to look at. And we cross the river, and I turn around and I look back, and you could see their little sandy beach where they're laying. And I'm like, well, damn. Right? So that was kind of my first day in Russia. That was get to the rig and I can't find no one, and there's weed plants growing in the bar ditch all along the road. I'm thinking, what the hell, right? And I get to the rig and I can't find anybody and nobody speaks English. And somebody points to this man. He's out on like 700 yards out on the edge of the location. He's got shorts on and suntan oil all over him. And he's got these jugs with him. And I go wandering out there and I introduce myself. And I said, brother, what are you doing, man? And he says, I'm pulling the males and watering the females. What do you think I'm doing? That was my first afternoon in Russia.
Wow.
That's wild. That's wild. So I guess you got the hang of it after a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
What were the hours like for the working?
Well, for us, just our morning reports early, right? 4 o'clock in the morning. And we had counterparts, so we didn't even stay at the rig. Of course, we were on call, but we stayed in town in the hotel, right? So
What was the food like?
the food, once you figured out how to order it, they eat good. It is best food I've ever ate overseas, right?
So the first day when you got there, you might have made a mistake or two, did you?
Yeah, the first day I couldn't eat anything, all right? What they brought to my room, I mean, I just pointed at some stuff on a menu. I had no clue what it was. But
I need pictures. That's why they put pictures on all these menus. I noticed because if you can't read the language, you can see the picture. Yeah, that's what I want right there.
yeah, but once you figure out some of the languages, so I will never forget how to order fried potatoes or French fries and barbecued steak. Right? It's different. They do it different ways, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
What's this barbecue steak taste like? Is it like Houston, Texas barbecue?
No. But it's steak and it's cooked, it's seasoned real well, and it's good, you know. And they do it different ways, but
Yeah, that's awesome. I went to Brazil, and the one time I flew all by myself, and I had to learn the language on a translate app and all this stuff, and trying to get different flights and get around.
What year was this when you went?
I believe I went 2011, 12, and 13.
So you went 3 years in a row?
3 years in a row.
Wow.
So the third year I went. So the first year I went with my buddy JB James.
Okay.
Went over there and hung out, and the second year went with Chad Masters.
Okay.
And then the third year I just went over there by myself.
So tell me that journey. So you left from Sky Harbor. Where'd you fly to?
Yep, fly to Sky Harbor, and you usually fly to Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And then you get on another flight, and it's usually about 15 hours
Fuck.
there, and then you get on another 2-hour plane ride.
Oh
so
my-
altogether, it's dang near 20-some hours. So,
You're a flying sucker.
man,
You fly all the time. You fly more than anybody I know.
when I quit working, I had over 2 million miles on United alone.
this guy flies more than anybody I ever know.
Dude, I overseas, we'd always upgrade my flight from economy to business class, right? And once you get off one of those business class flights and crawl into first class, once you get back into stage, you're thinking, oh, this is the shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not.
I flew to New York, and that's the farthest I've ever flown in my life. Is 5 hours. I was a wreck. I couldn't. So I swear to you, we're leaving Sky Harbor, and then the stewardess or whatever was sitting right there in front of us, and I looked over to him, and he looked at me, and I said, "Just tell me it's gonna be okay." He goes, "I've been doing this for 20 years. You're gonna be fine." I'm like, "Fuck." I just can't do it. I'm scared, but to do it by yourself that many hours and just sleep the whole time.
Well, like they fly you out at night,
Yeah.
and they'll give you dinner. You usually got a TV, and you can watch it. And the where I was at, the seats were just a little bit wider than normal, like a little bit more.
Little
The
bit.
plane was bigger. It's one of the big jumbo jets, and yeah. So dinner, and then about breakfast time, they'll wake you up, give you some breakfast, and then they'll give you a little snack, and you're there just like that. But yeah, I slept. Try to sleep as much as possible.
So did you land over there, and then your contact over there picked you up, and did they have did you do lessons, and did you have a whole
It was clinics, yeah.
Clinics.
The guys, shout out to Jal Sergio Senior and Jal Sergio Vicente Senior and Junior. They were awesome, and they took good care of us over there. They got a really big ranch, and if anybody's ever heard of JBS feedlots, or you see the trucks going up and down, it's the JBS.
Mm-hmm.
He was the major shareholder at one time for that
Oh, wow.
company. Yeah, feedlots all over the world.
Yeah.
Brazil, States up here is pretty cool guy, but he's real simple. He, regular Wrangler jeans, and Yeah, just a old shirt. And,
So were you his favorite roper, or how did that happen?
one of them back in the day, his son Joe Sergio Jr. You know, it was one of his, and Chad and those guys they would send some guys over there to help out with the roping lessons and stuff, and they're real cowboy type people. Like they picked it up real fast, and the shows over there are getting pretty big, the horse shows, and the rodeos are some of the rodeos that happen in certain places, but yeah, the animal rights activists are kind of hard on rodeos over there.
Is that where you ride that mule?
Oh yeah,
I remember seeing videos
one
of
of
it.
the brokest mules I've ever been on. I couldn't believe it when I got on it. It was bred right. It was out of I could believe it's out of Docalina. Daughter of Docalina, I believe it was like right out the ass.
The only one I ever seen was Zank had one, and he was a healing sucker on that mule.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really easy actually. They got a big old long stride and they stop. But for you, how long was the plane ride to Russia?
Oh, it's like a day and a half.
It
depends on
20 some hours.
Well, if you go that way, it's not, is it?
Yeah, it depends, right? But where we were going, we were on the Kazakhstan and Russia border, right? So we go from here to the East Coast, Frankfurt, Moscow.
So like from Arizona right here, we would just go like to like Anchorage, Alaska, and then just fly over to Russia.
I mean, you could, all right, I guess, but the normal flights don't go that way.
Oh no.
No, you're either going to go through Japan that way, or you're going to go through the East Coast and go through Europe.
Because between Alaska and Russia, it's only like a couple miles, right? When the snow, like you could drive across.
Yeah, but you're out there in the middle of nowhere.
You're the wrong side of Russia.
You're middle of nowhere.
So you still got to drive keep going.
Explain how
Russia's huge.
How big is Russia? I was going to ask you. Explain how big Russia is.
Oh my God, I don't know, but it's so big. You could probably 2 or 3 of this country.
That's amazing.
It's huge, yeah.
It's huge.
A lot of it is forest too, right? Like.
Well, yeah, there's lots of open ground. The area we were in, it was rolling hills, a lot of wheatland, little patches of trees and stuff.
I was going to ask you, there are no cowboys over there, right? Like
no, not like nothing here, right?
No
These guys, I made a dummy. I had a head dummy out in front of my office. You know what I mean? I took it to a couple of ropes with me, and these Russians, they're all wanting to try it. None of them could swing the rope.
Yeah.
You were Trevor Brazil over there. You're
the greatest that ever lived over there in Kazakhstan.
There's little Russian boy said, "Oh, my dad said this. You're the best roper ever."
For all those movie guys out there and women out there, the Borat is, he was from Kazakhstan. So, that's the kind of where he said that. I laughed because I thought about Borat, how funny that show is. But, like, the people, like the culture, talk about that a little bit, especially because Russia and Kazakhstan, it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah, they're quite a bit different. There's a lot of Christians in Russia, right? Like a lot more than there used to be. And they have a little, like the road my rig was on at one point was only about 3 miles to the Kazakhstani border. And I was told never to go past this rig, right? Never go. There like $60 billion worth of heroin smuggled across that border every year, right? You don't never go no further than this.
Yeah, you'll get in big trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to go, all right?
So the Kazakhstan people, they have like them ponies, like they're almost like they're smaller type horses, right? Did you ever see any of those out there?
Oh, well, no, not really, but I know they're there. I've seen a video. Right?
Yeah. I always laugh at those guys. They're pretty funny. They be going as fast as things can. They ever rode one of these, rope horses, race horse, barrel horses, man.
They know what to do.
They feel like they're flying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Different gear, more horsepower.
Anything else that kind of stands out from Russia, like as far as so you didn't have much time as far as working. The days were pretty long when you were out there, right?
Well, in Russia was easy on us, all right? I mean, you usually work a 12-hour shift, and you got safety meetings before and after, and blah blah blah. So, but the way we had it set up in Russia, we had Russian counterparts. We go to the rig, we get our morning report in Russian. I hand it to my interpreter. He sit down and he type it in on my deal in English. And I'd look it over and make sure there was no mistakes. I'd sign it and boom, I was done for the day.
Boss.
That's what's
Like
up.
honestly, I could.
Unless we had a problem, all right? And then it doesn't matter what time of the day, but
Yeah.
What was the communication like with your workers? Brad and I, we talked about the farming a little bit, you know, communicating, getting your farmers to do stuff. What was the?
a lot of hand signals, man.
That's what I mean. Now,
A lot of hand signals, right?
you know, Brandon's got some Mexicans over here, and his Espanol is pretty damn good. I'm
And my
sure.
sign languages are good too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Whenever you,
One of these.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you got to Russia and you had to get these guys going over there, but like the communication was pretty tough.
Well, I had a couple of really good interpreters, right? I still talk to them today. And I remember we were getting ready to lay a rig over, and we took the top drive off and got everything set up to go up and stab into at the crown, right? I really didn't want to crawl up there, right? I'm 50s, late 50s, right? I really didn't want to crawl 120 feet in the air. And so I had my interpreter explain it to the derrick man. And that derrick man went up there and I mean, just latched right on, just like somebody knew what he was doing, right? Back down it came. My interpreter reminds me, he goes, man, you explained that so good to that guy.
Well, that, like I said, I had to have an interpreter over in Brazil. That was tough, you know, communicating.
I bet.
Man, I couldn't imagine being the boss, something like that.
Did you guys rope like all day long?
All day,
I
man.
imagine.
Those guys, they like to rope, and then they
Muleys.
like to eat good too.
Yeah.
So we'd have a good breakfast. You know, we'd spend everybody made sure to eat and everything, and then we'd go rope for lunchtime, and it wasn't but about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I mean,
Yeah.
we were having a big lunch, and man, they grub and they eat good, and then we roped till 5 or 6, and when it went dinner time, you see a lot of them guys kind of let loose and have fun and have a couple drinks and have a steak and chill out. And when we went and had dinner, it was like 20 people.
Entourage.
Yeah, big old entourage, man.
You're at the head of the table.
Not really, kind of. It's kind of on the side. The João Sergio, he was the boss.
Yeah.
Like that
You're
the
the
guy.
main guest.
I wish I could have spoke Portuguese to communicate with this man, because he had feedlots all over the place, and he knew horses, and like I said, he had these
Real
badass mules, and like I wish I could have communicated with him a little bit better. And like I said, did you have anybody like that in Russia where you could somebody that kind of worked pretty hard, and you kind of wanted to communicate with them more, but you just really couldn't? You just
Yeah, I had one driller that he worked 14 days on, 14 days off, and we were doing 35 and 35. And he'd bring me 2 bottles of homemade vodka every 2 weeks.
That's
right?
awesome.
Best vodka on
Talk
the
to us
face of the
about
earth.
that.
I mean, you can't buy vodka here that you get over there.
You
right?
said it damn near tastes like water, right?
Cold ice, thick ice water. Right? I about fell into lake vodka where I was there. Good thing I had some help out of there.
Good thing you know how to snorkel, huh?
But I mean, off the hook vodka. You can't buy it here because it's just not made here.
Huh.
That's amazing. You talked about that too. Like,
Well, the first fall, it's getting cold out, right? And my airlines are starting to freeze, and I take my interpreter, I go from one guy to the next, and finally get to the head guy, and I want nitrogen, I can't say the name of it right now.
hydrogen.
No,
and stuff.
no, I don't know. I can't say it because we're on air.
No, you're good.
But anyways, they didn't use it there, right? That's what we have to use here in the States because people can't drink it, right? It's not good for you. So it'll make you go blind. That's what they make us use here in the States in our airlines, right? Over there, they wouldn't let me use it because they wouldn't make it go. I said, so what can I use? He says, vodka. And he goes, they're going to drink it. He says, yes, but they won't go blind. He said, I literally sent my driver to the distillery, and they brought back 2 drums of vodka, reject vodka. Of course, everybody sampled it. And put in the airlines.
Let's get back to work, boys.
My drivers even put it in their windshield washers on their cars, and I keep their windshield washers thawed.
Wow, I never know that.
That's what they do with reject.
Have a drink, Have you ever had to deal with cold like that? I heard it's.
Dude, you have no idea. I mean, I lived.
I'm from Arizona, born and raised in Arizona. Right here, and I have no idea.
Hey, man, I lived at the base of the Tetons for 21 years. It ain't nothing to see 20 below every day, right? Day in, day out, or maybe even close to 30. But over there, I'd leave here in the wintertime and it's 70 out, and I get to the rig and it'd be 50 something below zero.
You can
I
imagine,
mean,
right?
poor old roughneck with 9 inches of clothes on and a 6-inch Peter.
Yeah.
How do you use the restroom? You got six inches of coat on. You know what I mean?
I watch some of these videos of like it's like a towing company, and they go out, and it's like the snow's this deep, and the rig's over there, and then they have a tow truck, and then guys get out, and they're just like stuck, and then a job that should just take 20 minutes, it takes them 2 hours because the
They can't
conditions,
move.
they can't move, they can't,
Yeah.
and so there ain't an option. You have to be all fucking with them big old coats or you die.
Brandon, what would you do? Being
I'd die.
a farmer and like you love the heat, like you don't mind when it's 115
I love it.
outside. What would you do with yourself, bro?
I don't know. I don't know. And we me and my wife talk about maybe potentially moving one of these days to and everywhere we go is gonna be colder than here, no matter
Right.
what. So I'm like, we don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. This snowy ass fucking Montana, and like we can't live there.
Well, you would like it, but you want to be there in the
Yeah,
summertime.
I want to do what you do.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You got the best bowl.
I'm fixing to leave this week, and
You're chomping at the
next
bit
Monday
too.
I'll be over there, Montana. Looking forward to it.
Badass.
But we wanted to really get the Rat Bastard name out there a little bit more, and like I said, really promote it. So what we're wanting to do with this podcast, the Tolleson-Mack podcast, is gonna do a giveaway, and certain times, the first giveaway, it would be the first people to like and subscribe, and leave a comment, and the first one's gonna be for what is Eric Rogers' side job when he's not rodeoing? What is Eric Rogers doing? And so if you're wanting to test the Rat Bastard energy drink out, and you're a loyal Tolleson-Mack podcast follower, give us the answer and comment, and we'll go from there. And tell everybody what Pat and Bobby's last name are, and kind of their relationship to the company.
Well, Bobby Grayson's my cousin. He's the main money guy in this, all right? And Pat, not that Pat doesn't have money in it, but Pat's the formula guy.
I'll be interested
Pat
to talk
Brown.
about that. Yeah, like that Pat Brown, the vitamins he found, and the caffeine to kind of get this product, this little juice. When Jim talks about it, he talks about the juice, the juice just right. And so that I'm sure it's a heck of a formula, because trying to get something healthy to taste good is sometimes a little bit tricky.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. I think we're going to come out with a 4-ounce shot or a 2-ounce shot versus the little small one of 5 hours, but it'll actually taste good instead of like, how that one tastes.
Oh, man.
We all know how that
I
one
had to
tastes.
chase it with something. It was
You gotta chase it with something.
and heartburn too. Horrible heartburn. Yeah. That stuff. You weren't falling asleep. I like this stuff way better, because like when you do feel like you need to rest, and like you get to where you need to go, you put the horses up, and you finally put your head down on the pillow, you get to sleep. That's kind of the main thing I like about it.
You gotta be able to stay up, and you gotta be able to sleep. So
For
it's the
sure.
best of both worlds. No, I'm a believer.
Yeah, if you drink one too late in the afternoon, you might be tossing and turning at midnight. Right?
You might be sweeping the kitchen and doing the dishes at midnight over there, which sometimes not a bad thing. I'll do that every now and again, just to kind of drink a Rat Bastard and think, and get to clean the pins, and
Get your headphones on.
yeah, next thing you know, I'm over there oiling up the saddles and cleaning boots, and just like doing stuff that normally wouldn't do.
And be real quick, we just hit our 1,000 subscriber mark. So now that you guys see the ads, that are going in our deal, we don't want them ads, but it's part of this equation, part of the, we just press that skip button or whatever. I'm just saying, but we're trying our best.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you like our stuff, and
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna have
appreciate
more
it.
like that. Thank you for coming in, Jim. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Great
Sir.
stories, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
It's funny how this roping circle, the people I meet, and it's been great. And we broke in a lot of cattle over there at Ray Siggins' place. That's kind of where we got to work together with Jim, and man, it was fun getting to know him and hanging out there. We'd all see him every day, and
Pretty much
visit
every
with each
day.
other. And then next thing I know, I kind of going to the airport, and he called me and said, "Hey, he asked me to try it first. I tried it. I says, man, we need to get this in Vegas. I think they'll really like it over there." especially the people that got to go to casinos and gamble. You got to stay awake and have fun over there. So
Yeah, that's the
best thing to do is try the Rat Bastard. So, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a link. We'll have Craig put a link on there. So if anybody wants to go on the website, y'all got a website?
Yes, there's a QR code on that.
Okay.
And it'll take you right to Amazon. You can get it from Amazon. Is probably the best place or easiest place. Walmart.com, Shopify.
Awesome. So yeah, if anybody's interested in trying out the Rat Bastard, you want to pop a top right there for old Pat. Pat O'Brien loves it when you.
We better.
Oh yeah, that's the kind right there. That was perfect. That's just what we wanted. Right there.
Pat will like that.
I like that right there.
If you need any more testimony, I got 15 guys out there that'll testimony. They'll do it in Spanish or English.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm sure they hit your refrigerator.
That's awesome right there.
Yeah.
That's
Fruit punch.
Man, it's a little bit later on in the evening, Jim. I hope you're not up all night.
What's that?
I hope you're not up all night cleaning the pool tonight. You know what I mean?
It's possible. My brother's not going to get there till 10 o'clock.
You'll be up and wanting to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I appreciate everything. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much, and thank you to the guys at Rat Bastard, Pat and Bobby. Thank you for everything you do for us, and we'll keep bringing you the product,
Thank you.
bringing you the juice.
The juice.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.